I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record Newswatch. The felony coercion trial of Monticello Village trustee T.C. Hutchins will resume now that Sullivan County Court Judge Frank Labuda has rejected his attorney's request for a mistrial. It means a county court jury will deliberate the fate of Hutchins beginning next week. He was charged with felony coercion and official misconduct for allegedly trying to rig the hiring process in order to get his friend, a former drug dealer, hired as a police officer. Hutchins' attorney had requested a mistrial on the grounds that a secretly recorded conversation was not turned over. If he's convicted of the top count, Hutchins would face up to 7 years in prison. It's called a poverty simulation, with participants role-playing the lives of low-income families who are confronted with the stressful task of providing for basic necessities and shelter on a limited budget. The Anti-Poverty Agency RECAP, the Regional Economic Community Action Program, sponsored the unique learning experience today at the SUNY Orange campus in Middletown. Play money was used, but this wasn't a game. It was a way for people to understand the realities of poverty while interacting with human services providers, grocers, pawnbrokers, and bill collectors.
Poverty has been on the back pages or on the back agenda of so many of our political leaders and stakeholders. We're trying to educate the community in terms of the importance of it, and that people are really struggling. They're trying their best, but with some of the jobs that we have in the local community, they just aren't able to make ends meet. We've seen a lot more people that had been enjoyed the fruits of the middle class for many, many years, lost employment, and now they are reemployed, but they are reemployed in less paying positions. So many of those people are in retail positions or other positions that may be part-time, so they're losing benefits or have lost benefits, and they still don't generate the kind of dollars that they were accustomed to, and they're trying to cut back on expenses, and sometimes that's a learning experience in itself.
The poverty simulation was designed to sensitize those who frequently deal with low-income families to help them better understand the realities of poverty and to discuss possible policy changes that can be made in communities to better help families provide for basic needs. Sentencing is set for August 22nd for Donald and Basil Lembhard, two brothers who have pleaded guilty to their roles in a rock and brick throwing riot last August in Newburgh that erupted during a memorial gathering for their brother Michael, who was shot and killed by police. Donald Lembhard pleaded guilty to second-degree assault. Basil Lembhard pleaded to the charge of first-degree riot. On Monday, their brother Calvin pleaded guilty to menacing a police officer. Now, all three could face prison sentences of up to 3 years, but Orange County Court Judge Jeffrey Berry said he would consider lesser sentences if the brothers stay out of trouble. Ulster County Executive Michael Hein called it a compassionate alternative to closure. His words came during yesterday's official transfer of the former Ulster County Golden Hill Healthcare Center to a private ownership. The ownership change for the 280-bed nursing home ended roughly 20 months of negotiations. The sale pumps $11.5 million into the county treasury, gets the county out from under the $14 million in additional costs it faced if Ulster County continued operating the Golden Hill facility through 2016. Hines says the sale keeps the infirmary open for patients while putting the property back on the tax rolls. The new ownership group, Golden Hill Planning Corporation, has indicated there will be 30 to 40 layoffs and a shift to more nursing staff. Elsewhere, a Kingston man has been sentenced to 8 years in prison for his role in an attempted knife-point robbery in Kingston back in January. 20-year-old Scipio Dubois was convicted of felony burglary for the incident at a residence on Van Buren Street. Police say Dubois and 25-year-old Dorothea Parker forced their way into the house, demanded money while wielding a knife. The victim had his 4-year-old son with him. The would-be robbers and their targeted victim struggled, with Dubois and Parker later running off without taking anything. Parker was previously sentenced to 7 years in prison. For years, it has threatened trains with falling rocks and icicles. Now comes word Metro North has allotted $3 million to repair parts of the interior of the Otisville rail tunnel. Cave-like sections of the 105-year-old tunnel have unlined areas where over the years loose rocks and falling ice have increased the threat of damage to trains or injury, as well as the potential for commuter train service interruptions. The repairs will include scaling of loose rock, power washing, and installation of a fiber-reinforced liner. Repairs will begin next month and are expected to be completed by the end of the year. And it marks an important spot in aviation history. Wednesday evening, a historical marker was unveiled on Dolson Avenue in Middletown at the first landing site of the first ever cross-continental airplane flight. The marker is on the site of what used to be the Pleasure Grounds racetrack in Middletown. It's where Cal Rogers, piloting his biplane, the Vin Fizz, landed the aircraft after taking off from Sheepshead Bay back on September 17, 1911. A flight that aviation historians say put Middletown on the map. Ed and Linda Dubin have been working to keep the memory of the flight alive. The unveiling of the marker comes in the midst of Middletown's 125th anniversary celebration. The threat of passing thunderstorms will stay with us into the weekend. Friday will be mostly cloudy with temperatures in the low 80s and the chance of showers that could be heavy at times. Plenty of clouds around on Saturday as well, along with a strong possibility of another thunderstorm or two. The high Saturday will be up around 80 degrees. Enjoy the Friday features and all the news in tomorrow's Times-Herald Record, and anytime and anywhere a news breaks, you will find it right here at Record Online. For Record Newswatch, I'm Tracy Banks.